The 2023 Angels are the weirdest team I've ever seen. Shohei Ohtani, his locker was cleared out yesterday, and then Anthony Rendon put the Angels on blast for something completely different. Now, this almost doesn't seem real either, but Royce Lewis now has 4 grand slams over the last 3 weeks. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's getting hot at the perfect moment because Toronto, they are fighting desperately for a spot in the wild card, and Bryce Harper, haven't seen this in a while, but he got ejected yesterday, and the umpire had some choice words for the 2-time MVP. All of that in today's MLB Recap, and today's recap is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. If you click that link in the description down below, new users will unlock a Joe Burrow pick'em. It's basically free money. All Joe Burrow has to do is throw for 1 yard. So if you click that link and you're a brand new user, you can unlock this Joe Burrow 1-yard pick'em. I mean, I'm trying to help you guys out. This is essentially free money. Use code Fuzzy, all that good stuff. Underdog Fantasy, thank you for sponsoring the channel. Now, before we talk about the Shohei Ohtani news, Anthony Rendon revealed that he has a fractured tibia. Now, this was news to me because the Angels have not revealed this, and Anthony Rendon pretty much said that. He doesn't know why the Angels did not release this information about his fractured tibia, because Angels fans have pretty much been throwing Anthony under the bus for quite some time, saying that he's dodging the media. He's actually not hurt. Well, he's got a fractured bone, so that was weird. And then if things weren't weird enough, reporters noticed that Ohtani's locker was basically cleared out and everything was in a bag. Is this it? Is this the big... Hold on, I just got a notification from Jeff Passan. Would you look at that? We have an update. Shohei Ohtani will not be playing for the remainder of 2023. He will be missing the rest of the season with an injury to his oblique. So that kind of explains why his locker was cleared out. I don't know if he's going to go back to Japan or something like that. He is now a free agent. So yeah, he has no business being in Anaheim because the Angels suck. They're not going to make the playoffs. So, I mean, if I was him, I'd go home too. So let me know in the comments if you're an Angels fan or just a baseball fan. What do you make of the 2023 Angels? Did they fumble the bag by not trading Shohei Ohtani? I mean, I'll answer that question for you. Absolutely. One of the worst decisions in the history of sports. All right, so we'll show the Angels game in a second. We have a ton of wild card and playoff type games coming up, but I can't move on until we show this clip right here. Royce Lewis has 4 grand slams over the last 3 weeks. He ties a rookie record for most grand slams in a single season by a rookie with 4. I mean, over his last 22 games, Lewis has 10 home runs and 33 RBIs. Hello. Minnesota, they kept teeing off and they ended up with 10 runs. I feel like the Twins could actually shock some people now that their enemy, the Yankees, are not going to bounce them in the first or second round of the playoffs because they cannot beat the Yankees in the playoffs. So now that the Yankees are out, the Twins have the 6th best OPS over the last 30 days and the 5th best ERA. I mean, again, they can make some noise. I'm going to go a little bit quicker in today's recap because there are so many standing updates to talk about, but in this one, the Giants and the Rockies got no hit for 7 innings and still somehow pulled a W out of their hat. Chuck Nasty, remember that one clip of Antonio Brown kicking the kicker? Like, he went full airborne and basically just karate kicked that dude. Charlie Blackmon kind of did the same thing to Patrick Bailey. That allowed the ball to get past and 2 runs scored. Nolan Jones, he crossed his home plate, and that's a walk-off W. That's probably the worst loss of the last few years for the Giants. They needed that W and they fumbled so bad. Now we're going to go straight to the Cubs versus Diamondbacks game because a lot is on the line in this one. Arizona, they can pass the Giants in the wild card with a W, and Chicago starting pitcher Justin Steele, he has to throw a gem to keep up with Blake Snell. Arizona, they showed the heck up. Huge 3-run home runs from both Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Alek Thomas. Thomas went lefty-lefty. He made me look like a baseball genius because I tweeted yesterday that the Cy Young race is over, and delusional Cubs fans kept saying, no, Justin Steele, he's going later today. He gave up 6 runs. It's over, okay? Huge shout out to rookie Brandon Pfaadt, who struck out 6, did not allow a single run to score. He's got nasty stuff. The Cubs, they do bash a lot of home runs, but they lose. Again, Chicago kind of saved some of their dignity with 3 home runs from Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, who's been crazy hot, and Christopher Morel, but they lose, and Arizona is now 1 game ahead of the Giants for that final wild card spot. Miami is right there as well. They need a W, and it's not going to be easy because they're facing the Braves, but Luis Arraez, he got the boys cooking early. He mashed his first of 2 home runs on the night, so stay tuned. Just the Marlins, they stormed out to a 4-0 lead, and then the Fire Nation attacked, aka the Braves did their thing. Harris, he started the comeback with a home run, and skipping to the 6th, there's a go-ahead 2-run single from Ozzie Albies to make it 6-4. Ozzie, he's got 29 home runs and 95 RBIs as a primary second baseman. That's ridiculous, but like I said, Luis Arraez, he had 2 today. He's sitting 349 with a career-high 9 home runs and a 132 OPS+. You had some RBI doubles from Garrett Hampson, Jacob Stallings, and Tanner Scott. He is all but have saved the Marlins over the last few weeks. He has 6 saves, 0 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts over his last 6 innings. He's been a godsend. He's been way better than David Robertson, because David Robertson was trying to, maybe he had money against the Marlins because he was awful. A massive, massive W for the Marlins, and they're hoping for a Cincinnati loss, because then Cincinnati and Miami, they will trade places in the NL wildcard race. The Reds are only a half game ahead of the wild card, but Spencer Steer, he rakes back-to-back games with a home run. He's a rookie with 22 home runs and a sneaky 14 stolen bases, but that swing right there ruined what could have been a gem for Hunter Green. Pete Alonso, a no-doubter, 45 home runs and 112 RBIs. Reds fans, they might as well build a statue now, though, because even though Pete kind of stole back the momentum, India, their 2021 Rookie of the Year, he saved Cincinnati from the jaws of defeat. His 2-run home run gave Alexis Diaz a lead, and it's Alexis Diaz, so he shut it down. He got 5 outs, no problem. So after all of that chaos, here's the update on the NL wildcard. San Francisco and Miami, they are both on the outside looking in, but like, it's close. They're not far out by any means. They're like a game or a game and a half behind. Arizona and Cincinnati, they both win, so they're in the wild card. These last 14 to 15 games of the season are going to be brutal for a lot of fans out there, but me, a baseball fan, I love it. And I love it because technically San Diego is still in it, not just because of their talent. They have the easiest schedule in baseball to close out the season. Tatis, he wants it. He has 25 home runs. He also singled in 2 more in the second inning. Tatis, he could join some elite company in MLB history. He's got 25 home runs, 26 stolen bases, and 24 DRS. He could have one of the rare 25-25-25 seasons, and he missed a month of action. Oakland, they bashed 2 home runs. Langoliers and Brent Roker, they can bang, but Jose Azocar, he put this game way out of reach. He's one of the fastest humans in baseball, and then he went 425 feet. That's pretty impressive. So the Padres, they're back to 6 games of the wild card, and they face the A's, the Rockies, the White Sox, the Cardinals to end the season. They could do it. The AL East is getting pretty bananas as well, because Baltimore, they dropped their 2nd game in a row to the Rays. Zach Eflin and the Rays offense carried them back to a tie for first place. You had home runs from Brandon Lau and Harold Ramirez that made it 7-0. Harold, he's hitting 305 with a 120 OPS plus. It seems like everyone on the Rays has a 120 OPS plus. Eflin, he allowed 1 hit on 1 run, all in the same swing. Look at Heston Kjerstad, his first career home run. Just unfortunately, Eflin dominated for the rest of the game. 8 strikeouts over 7 innings. The Rays bullpen, they have now gone 36 consecutive innings without allowing a run to score. That's insane. You know what else is insane? The AL wildcard, because Toronto actually won a game, which means that they can get back to a half game of the wildcard if Seattle loses. We'll talk about the Mariners game after this one. Vladdy Jr. drove in every single run of this game. Yes, it was a 3-0 box score. Keep pulling the ball, Vladdy. He has 2 home runs and 5 RBIs over his last 2 games. Barrios and the bullpen, they clutched up as well. Barrios, he went 7 shutout with 8 strikeouts. Barrios has a 1.8 ERA and 22 strikeouts over his last 20 innings. The Jays bullpen threw 2 no-hit frames as Jordan Romano struck out 2. He's got 35 saves. Even the AL wildcard is going to make people lose some of their lives. So we had a close game for the first few innings down in Seattle. Both the Mariners and the Dodgers were trading RBI extra base hits. Suarez had a home run. Miggy Rowe, I think it was a 2 or 3 run home run, I can't remember. And that was right before Max Muncy tripled in another, and then JD Martinez made it a 4 spot. So the Miggy Rowe was a 2-run home run. That 4th one proved to be the difference, because Seattle, they scored 2 in the 6th, but that's all they could muster. JD knocked in another, and then James Outman crushed his 20th home run of the season. Evan Phillips, he has 23 saves and a 2.4 ERA. He's pretty underrated. The Dodgers, they do beat the Mariners, so madness. Seattle is now just a half game ahead of the Blue Jays for that final wild card spot, but they also have a division to worry about. They need the Rangers and the Astros to lose, and look at Cleveland having Seattle's back. Giolito and company, they dominated. Andres Jimenez and Ramon Laureano, they both hit home runs, and then the RBI doubles came in droves. J-Ram had an RBI double. Will Brennan has been on fire lately. He had a 2-run double. Josh Naylor had a 3 RBI game, so he has 91 RBIs in 107 games. Cole Calhoun, he made it 12 runs on a day that Lucas Giolito, he finally looked like his prime self. 7 shutout, just 1 walk. He struck out 12 Rangers, which is not easy to do, only allowed 2 base hits. So look at the Guardians coming up clutch for Mariners fans. This next game really made me mad, because I put some money on the Astros and the Yankees, and of course, the Yankees win. We'll talk about them later on, but Houston, they lost. Zach Greinke was 1 in 15. Yes, 1 win, 15 losses, so I thought easy money. Greinke, who went 2 shutout before being taken out in Kansas City, they just kind of took over. Nelson Velasquez hit hit one 440 feet. He has 13 home runs and an almost 150 OPS plus on the season. That trade has been awful for the Cubs. Bobby Witt Jr. also hit a home run, and for the second straight game, he stole 2 bases. So he's 1 home run away and 4 stolen bases away from a 30-50 season. Over Bobby's last 94 games, he's hitting .306 with 22 home runs, 32 stolen bases, and a .904 OPS. Straight up injected himself in the top 20 player status. Massey, he belted one. So nothing changed in the AL West. The Mariners are still 1.5 games back. The Rangers are a half game back, but again, they're both in the playoffs right now because of the wild card, but that can change too. All right, you've all been waiting patiently enough. Let's talk Phillies and that Bryce Harper ejection. Before that, Nick Castellanos, he sent out a 3-run home run for his 24th home run of the season. I'm super happy that he's bouncing back. It's 4-0 Philly, and Harper, he got tossed after chucking his bat and helmet. He had some words, and I'm almost 99% sure that Harper called the ump a loser, and then Bryce said, "How am I an a-hole?" So that means that the umpire had to have called Bryce an a-hole, so I'm pretty sure that happened. St. Louis, they scored a few to make it a 1-run game, so thank goodness that JT drove in that 5th run because it was crucial considering Tommy Edman got to Jose Alvarado in the 9th, a 1-run game again, but he eventually closed it out. The Phillies beat the Cardinals 5-4. Lane Thomas is having a special season, ladies and gentlemen. 33 doubles, 25 home runs, and 18 stolen bases. That's just nuts. You know what else is nuts? Hitting a baseball 460 feet. William Contreras is a flat-out star. I'll say it. He is a star. 34 doubles, 16 home runs, and a 121 OPS plus. His defense has vastly improved as well. That rallied the troops as Silos, he sent one out. He is now just 1 RBI away from 1,000 career RBIs, and there it is. Carlos Santana, his 21st home run gives him 1,000 RBIs on the dot. He's 1 home run away from 300. The dude has 678 extra base hits, 1,000 RBIs, and a career 356 on base percentage. Carlos Santana has been an extra base machine and an on-base god. Here we go, the Pirates and the Yankees. Garrett Cole got outpitched by Johan Oviedo. The Yankees are still going to come out on top in this one because Pittsburgh didn't have David Bednar available for the 9th inning. Pittsburgh, they must have unplugged themselves from the outlet because, wow, they really stunk it up. There was a bases-loaded walk and then an error to allow the Yankees to actually steal the lead. Oswaldo Cabrera then made it a 2-run game for Clay Holmes, who had an easy, breezy 10-pitch save. Just like the Padres, the Yankees have won 2 in a row. They're 6.5 games back. Not the easiest schedule, though, because they have 9 games versus the Blue Jays and the Diamondbacks, who are pretty good teams. I saved the best for last, right? The Tigers were playing on rookie mode, aka that means that they were playing the Angels. Javier Baez and Jake Rogers, they both lifted off. And I'm gonna go ahead and fanboy over this next guy, Tarek Skubal. I'm a Guardians fan and I love this guy. He could win a Cy Young over the next few years. Listen, I know it's the Angels, but 9 punchies, 0 walks over 7 innings is impressive no matter who it is. Over his last 6 starts, he has a 2.4 ERA and 48 strikeouts in 37 innings. Like, that is ace-like stuff. I need Casey Mize to get healthy. A Tarek Skubal, Eduardo Rodriguez, Casey Mize, Matt Manning, Reese Olsen rotation could be sick. Baez had a huge day. 2 more on an RBI. Torkelson and Carpenter made it 11 runs on the day. The Tigers, they could be cooking up something. Not gonna lie, they have Jackson Jobe, they have Jace Young, they have Colt Keith. Maybe Max Clark can figure it out. The Tigers could be pretty good here pretty soon. I ain't gonna lie. That does it for today's MLB recap. No immaculate grid because I have some stuff to do, but to make up for it, here are all of the web gems from yesterday, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Be sure to click that link in the description down below. Use code Fuzzy, and if you're a new user, you unlock that Joe Burrow pick'em. He only needs 1 yard.
Ground ball to short, to his right, Swanson gets up, throw to first. Oh, baby.
We've seen many highlight reel plays from Dansby.
Crawford, 1 to first, not in time. Ooh. It looked like a base hit, and then he fed the ball without even taking it out of his glove.
Knocked down by Correa, comes up firing and got him. What a play by the Twins shortstop to end the inning.
Wendell with a diving play up the middle, throws to first. What a play, Joey Wendell.